Hello and welcome to the show today. I'm really glad you could join us because today we're talking about something that's very important, especially if you're even thinking about selling online, which is really an Amazon e-commerce store, what this could do for your business, what it means when you get into Amazon, all the ins and outs to be able to be successful in this space. And with us today is a really special guest, Kirk Cooper. Now, he's actually the CEO of Ecom Automation Gurus. And Kirk was actually a former high school teacher who got tired of the 9-to-5 life and decided to take a leap of faith and build his own company from the ground up. Now EAG builds fully automated e-commerce stores for its users, supplying them with all the manpower and tools to run the business passively. Now, Kirk has already been featured in Yahoo Finance and is esteemed entrepreneur.com contributor as well. Kirk, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ty. Appreciate it, buddy.
So I wonder, let's talk about Amazon. I mean, why do you think that Amazon is such a great source of income?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Amazon provides a platform. And for a lot of people, that's kind of the big thing. That's the missing piece to their ability to be able to get into a marketplace or to get into some form of selling. People like the convenience of selling from home or from the convenience of their own personal office, and they don't want to set up a retail storefront. And when you have somebody that has a platform that is built out as, mammoth as Amazon, you're able to go on, list your product within their marketplace and be, have the traffic. And that's the big thing, is finding traffic to locate your product.
Yeah, it's just like a retail store where you're in a, massive plaza where Walmart's there, grocery stores there. So you have a lot more walk on or a lot more drive-by traffic. Well, I have to actually pay for that traffic to get to your store. What about starting one? I mean, what's involved if I want to come out today, I want to get into e-commerce, I want to deploy an Amazon store. What's involved with getting set up?
Yeah, so it comes down to really the type of model, the selling model that you want to get into. We specialize, across the board, utilizing Amazon's fulfillment centers. If people want to come in and actually leverage physical product that they purchase in advance, they ship it in, store it in Amazon's facilities, and then Amazon will pick it, pack it, and ship it as it sells. But our most popular model that I'd say over 90% of our clients choose to do when they're presented with the different options is to drop ship. So when they're drop shipping, they're just honestly leveraging Amazon's name, Amazon's platform. And what we're doing for them is we're doing all the product research, their product listings, handling their the support behind the product, their customer service, all that stuff. But by leveraging a product and piggybacking off of an everyday listing, we're in there competing within their platform to harvest sales for our clients. So the beauty behind the whole thing is having a partner, and the partner in this case would be Amazon, who does all the marketing and brings in millions and millions and millions of buyers, so that our clients or the individuals that start their own store and start from the ground up, they already have a higher probability of success because they're not having to try to create all their traffic.
So, and I want to talk about traffic. I definitely want to dive into that. A lot of people that maybe see this might not know what drop shipping is. So can you expand on that a little?
Yeah, absolutely. So drop shipping is really the product of listing an item on your storefront. So we list it on your Amazon storefront, but having a location where you can locate this product. So when that product sells, you have not purchased it yet. Somebody purchases it from you, we're notified. And at that point of notification, we then go to the supplier and purchase the product that we know has the price differential. So we've got all the research, dialed in. Okay, we're going to make $15 on this sale. So we go purchase it, have it shipped directly to that customer. That customer receives their product. And at that point, funds are released every 2 weeks from Amazon, and the transaction closes and you've made $15, in the hypothetical sense. So it's essentially arbitrage, retail arbitrage, but we're doing it in an online sense. So an online arbitrage where we use softwares to scrape different platforms. So for instance, like Walmart, if Walmart's selling a lawn chair for $50, but the same lawn chair is listed on Amazon. And this kind of shows how lazy we, the consumers, are. We go to Amazon for convenience. We find our product, we order the product. And we didn't spend much time looking around on other platforms like, hey, could I find that product for cheaper elsewhere? We leverage software and automations that allow us to do that. So we know that we can put that price mismatch into play. People buy that lawn chair from our client store or your personal store, and they buy it for $100. Amazon makes their 15%, so down to $85. And now the difference is between $50 and $85, your profit. So we're able to do that on a large scale and leverage lines of credit, so people aren't coming out of pocket with cash, so that they can make their cash back travel rewards. And those are all bonus income to their business.
So which one of these models do you like better? Do you like the drop shipping, or do you like to buy the inventory and place it with Amazon fulfillment centers better?
Great question. So I've had stores that have done each of those, and I've combined them. I personally like the theme of drop shipping, just to be able to come in and not worry about putting all this time and effort into picking the perfect product, because this has happened. You get the perfect product picked out, and it takes a couple months to get it prepped, packed, labeled, customized, shipped, and imported into Amazon. And then all of a sudden you have a competitor who comes into the marketplace and has something very similar. Even though you spent all this time to find a very, unique product that you felt was going to really take the corner market in this area. And then all of a sudden you kind of get the rug pulled out from under your feet. So it doesn't happen all the time, but it's happened enough where I've found that I can sell brand name products. All right. I don't have, it's not my content. It's not my specific product. So I don't have any brand rights to it, but we're just arbitraging it. So going in and seeing that product's already listed on Amazon, there's 10 people selling it, 12 people, 13. That's okay. Because with the model that we implement, we're running these stores 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, opposed to who I was, back in 2013, 2014. I was running my store 4 hours a night because I was teaching, I was coaching, I was starting a family. And then I would get in and just grind for a few hours at night, optimize my listings, find new products, fulfill orders, and then I'd go to sleep. And it would sit like that for, 20 hours before I would touch it again. Here, we can see the trends and price trends and the need to optimize a listing. And when we have our team in place doing this for people to make it passive, we're able to really kind of wedge ourselves into that specific listing and actually take it over and be able to increase buy boxes and total revenue. And at the end of the day, more net profit for the client. So it's been an evolution for sure, but I like the drop shipping model because, at that point it's, hey, if you put a product in, it doesn't sell, it's all right. You've got 800 other products potentially in your store that can be competing and selling. So you're not going to have the sweat of, oh man, I have 1,000 units and $3,000 worth of products sitting in there. If it doesn't sell, what do I do with that?
Right.
You don't have that issue with drop shipping.
Yeah, it makes sense. And plus your massive cost to be able to manage that many products. Can you imagine inventory for even 800 products? That's crazy. But one of the things I've seen about trying to do this on your own, I've looked into this years ago, and even with some software to help me, it's ongoing, man. I mean, it seems like if you're trying to do this on your own, you got to constantly look for new products. I'm like, hey, I could do this. Like if I could find 5 products and just put them out there and it's all automated and just runs and sells, but it's not. It's like you have to constantly be looking at the products, constantly interchanging products. Is that what you find? I mean, because it seems like it's really difficult on your own to do without automation and software.
100% right. 100%. Because it was such a grand idea when I was teaching and coaching that I was like, man, I need to make some extra money. Doesn't matter if I'm the best teacher, the worst teacher, I get paid exactly what they're telling me I'm going to be paid. It's not fulfilling. It's not satisfying. I'm worth more than this. But what I did is I gave myself another job by doing this. And that's what was so difficult was I got into it. I got super passionate, but I was having to run that Amazon store 7 days a week. Like I couldn't be like, oh, it's Saturday and Sunday, I can take the day off. You want to respond to your customers in under 24 hours. You want to get the product in motion as quickly as possible. Like you can't take 2 days off because now you're 48 hours behind, whatever happened Friday night. So I was constantly running that I felt like I just chained myself to my desk when in reality, I was looking for more time freedom because I was going to create more financial success. So that's really where I got the idea to go out, hire I was thinking of just hiring one individual, but it ended up being 6 guys who had a really small firm, an a la carte firm. They had some Amazon experience, not in the model that I wanted to teach them, but I felt really confident in kind of our interaction. So I spent 3 months, 3 nights a week, screen sharing, working my business, teaching, doing trainings, recording it all. So it really kind of formed an initial modules. And after about 3 months, I spent the next month still logging in, but letting the team of 6 guys take over where they could ask questions, they could run the business. And then after that, I allowed it, turned it over to them. The store was now running 24 hours a day because those 6 guys split their shifts up. And when somebody had days off, there was somebody on shift, and they just managed the store constantly. And it 10x'd in revenue and the margins and the net profit. And I was able to pay 6 people and still make, 4 or 5 times more than I was making on my own. So that's where the light bulb went off that, if we can just grow this team slowly but surely, continue to train, and then bring on individual clients who would be interested in running or having and being the owner of an e-commerce business, we could get a piece of that pie by having them leverage the business as far as capital. And then we'll leverage the experience and the expertise and be able to manage it for them to make a percentage of their profit. So it becomes a win-win-win. The team's winning, I win. And then most importantly, the client that's bringing in their capital is winning in the sense that, hey, they do what their zone of genius is. They run their 9 to 5. They do their other business. They make money how they make money, but now they're having an additional stream of income, which is imperative in today's day and age. So it's what it involved into Ecom Automation Gurus.
So speaking of that, what is automation? Why is that important to e-commerce? Because you're describing a lot of manpower doing the work. So where does automation come in?
Yeah, that's a great question. For the most part, the term automation is really more to be placed on the investor because they're looking at it as, they go to sleep and their store is still being run. To them, it's automated. We do leverage a bunch of software. So even though we're manually following through with what the software is telling us, we have software that's scraping the back end of different suppliers. So we know, constant, within 20 minutes, different price changes, updates, inventory limits. And then we have a software that's scraping Amazon. And then essentially our team is connecting the two. They're able to look at one, look at the other, they find a winner, they list the product. And then from there, managing customer inquiries, returns are a thing. So we're getting shipping labels sent to the customer. So really the automation comes in the sense that the client sees it as automated because they're not running the business. But we do leverage a bunch of different softwares that help automate little pieces, still bring it together as a whole with live support.
So give me an idea what this looks like. Let's say I come to you and I say, hey, Kirk, what's up, man? I loved having you on the podcast. And that sounds cool. I can get into Amazon and not do a lot of the work. And you do it and I create a recurring or a passive income stream. So what does that look like on my end? Well, tell me, what does that look like?
Yeah, for sure. So, the way we establish the relationships are we have, initially our agreement, we do have an entry fee. We get hundreds and hundreds of emails that come through our website, and I've got a team that filters through them, sets up phone calls. They're discovery calls. We don't charge anybody anything for them. We want to find out if it's going to be a good fit for them, a good fit for us, and then ultimately just a good partnership to work together. And if all that stuff checks out, it's a question of getting an Amazon store open, whether we're starting from scratch. I'd say 80% of our clients actually get in on an aged account. We help them find an account that's already been around the block. It's already sold high volumes. It's checked a lot of boxes with Amazon, allows us to get into achieving their return a lot quicker just because it's not from scratch. And then from there, it comes down to the amount of capital that they have access to. And we do this through lines of, just different credit cards so that they get their cash back, their travel rewards. If you can think about it, a lot of our stores can do 50 to 150K in revenue a month. We've had stores as high as 800K in months like November and December. So when you're swiping that card, all the points that you're accruing, and then you're getting paid by Amazon, then you're paying your card down or off, and then the difference is your profit. And then from there, that's where we, do a 65, 35% split on the success that's created. So at that point, the business owner's keeping the majority of the profit because they're bringing the capital and they're leveraging that capital risk. And then we're bringing the consulting, the done for you part of it. And then we're earning that 35%.
So with that being said, do you guys source products? You guys set up the listing pages? Do you guys do all of that stuff? And then it's just a matter of really supplying the capital to buy the inventory?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
And if you're drop shipping, it's not a lot of capital, right? Because I mean, ultimately you're selling as you go.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So in the drop shipping sense, we get the listings in and we'll keep adding them as we go, but we put them in strategically. The listings in, the product sells. And once it sells, then we go to that supplier online where you, the client, has your cards already in the system. So we're not, collecting credit card numbers and all that stuff. We make it as safe as possible. And then we place the order. And then we put in the customer's information to have it shipped directly to them. And then Amazon releases those funds to be in your next payout. They have a system. It's the estimated delivery date plus 7 days. So if it was estimated to deliver today, or we'll say tomorrow, December 1st, 7 days after is when Amazon makes those funds available. And then it's in your next payout, which was paid every 2 weeks. And then you get paid, pay your card, reopen your line, and then the cycle continues and you continue to grow and scale your business.
How are you, or where are you finding a lot of the products that you're selling on Amazon?
Yeah, it varies. So we do leverage a lot of different retailers. We have different wholesalers. Honestly, the greatest success that we find in the dropshipping model is in a online retail arbitrage. And that's just using that same software that's looking at places like Target, Walmart, Bed Bath Beyond, Hay Needle, all these different just retail platforms. And we're able to find the exact same product that's being listed already on Amazon. We jump in on the listing. And then from there, earning the buy box is really kind of the name of the game. And the buy box is if you or I were to go on to Amazon, we find the lawnmower we want to buy. There could be 10 people selling it, but as soon as you click buy now, only one of those 10 people got the sale. And that's the person that has the most consistent, revenue, most consistent response times to customers, the person that Amazon wants to give the most time to, because they're going to make their 15% on a successful transaction. So you earn those buy boxes as you go.
So how do you do that? Because if I'm just getting started on Amazon, I have no credibility, right? And so I got to sell to get credibility, but I can't sell without traffic. And if I'm brand new on Amazon selling lawn chairs, which is our example for the show, there's a lot of people selling lawn chairs on Amazon. So I don't search on Amazon. I mean, it's, I don't know, 5 items maybe before I make a purchase, unless it's something I'm looking for really specific. So how do I even get to the buy box? How would I even get traffic to buy then at that point? Can you buy it from Amazon, or what does that look like?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So we don't use any type of pay-per-click ads or anything like that. We don't pay to get attraction in the dropship model. That is a strategy when you're, holding actual inventory. But for dropshipping, the listings already exist. So in order to gain traction under Amazon's eyes, we actually kind of reverse engineer it. We're looking at products that are quality product. Obviously, people are wanting to purchase the product, but we, the seller, and all the other sellers that are experienced in the marketplace, we know the margins. We know what products are going to make $35 a pop. We know which ones are going to break even. We're going in and looking at products that are going to make very small margins because the big sellers are staying away from those. They've already established themselves where they're selling the bigger ticket items. So we're going after the items that are still selling. They're still popular, but the margins are much slimmer. And that's how we gain entry into the marketplace. Is we go in and we compete. A lot of times we'll do price mismatching, and we'll drop our prices to gain the first couple sales, show that we can go in, get the product fulfilled successful. And then you start to build your rank within Amazon's algorithms. And then once you start to get those algorithms built up, and you start from scratch, which could take 90 days, typically, if you're starting from ground zero. That's why an aged account's nice, because you can kind of skip the 90-day process and your account already is ranking. But we'll start it from scratch and have great experience doing that. But by going in and having very small margins and building up revenue, we'll build the revenue up and show that we can successfully manage the business. Now, all of a sudden, that revenue could stay the same, but we move over to higher margin, profit margin products and compete and gain the same type of revenue and same type of traction. But now we're earning buy boxes on product that actually make us a substantial amount of money. So the strategy is to go after the stuff that the big sellers have lost interest in because they can make money on higher margin product.
What about listing optimization? You made several references to this of, optimizing the actual product descriptions and stuff, I would imagine, to be able to sell more. So what's involved with that? What's that look like?
Yeah. So a lot of optimizing comes from the inventory based model because you're actually creating the full listing 100%. So you constantly are figuring out different search words, keywords. A big piece to it is the keyword puzzle. So when people are going in and they're typing in, you want that initial word. What is the first thing you think of when you see this product? Okay, you want to be that, your number one keyword. What else do you think of when you see this product? Make that a second keyword. You want to build out a very extensive list of keywords so that you're picking up people that may even be looking for something else, but you have a keyword similar enough to your product that it gets your product on the same page that they're looking. And who knows, they might be an impulse buyer. They see something else that interests them and then they click buy now and go after that product. So we're constantly tweaking and evolving and growing so that we're able to use Amazon's algorithms that allow us to successfully reach clients that are our customers that are searching for a product or similar product. So that's part of the optimization process is constantly sharpening the sword and finding ways to drive more traffic for free to the page that holds these products that we're listing for the business.
Do you accumulate lists and do anything like build a list of buyers? And if so, like, what does that look like? What do you do with that list if you accumulate one?
Yeah, not necessarily. We do get a lot of subscribers. So people who like schools, different organizations who subscribe to one of our clients' stores and they're selling, it could be bulk things of soap, bulk things of markers, chalk, whatever. And schools subscribe to it to have, 50 boxes ordered every month, whatever it might be. So that ends up being kind of a nice piece to the puzzle for a lot of these businesses is when they get a product like that, that's on a reoccurring order. But otherwise, no, we don't have a list necessarily because they can go back in and just click on reorder in their Amazon app. And if they ordered it from our store or our client store specifically, that's who they'll end up reordering from, in the future. So you kind of build out that report that way, but otherwise it's a lot of one-off sales. And when you've got, again, 100, 200, 400, 800 listings, you don't need all of your listings to be humming along. Most of the time it's 4, 5, 6, 7 products that are really cooking at any given time. And that's what creates your success for the day, month, week. We've got clients that have products that stay hot for years just because they've had the best statistics as far as fulfilling it within Amazon's algorithm. So they stay ranked on top.
But if that's the case, then why have so many products? And I know 800 is a pretty extreme number. I don't think that's realistic, but let's say it's even 50. I would imagine just like anything you sell that, you got 50 products, 2 or 3 are your best sellers and account for 80% of your sales. And if you have a retail store, I get why you'd need the rest of them because you got to fill the store. But if you have an Amazon store, you don't really care about that. So why even have items that really aren't big producers if you've got home runs?
Yeah, because it doesn't hurt to have them in there. It's not costing us anything else. We're not paying storage fees like you would with physical product. And again, we're running these on a software, on the back end that's showing us pricing adjustments, and we can I guess we'll use the word deactivate or unlist certain products for an extended period of time. And then all of a sudden, when things start to really align and we see margins increase, we'll go back in and reactivate those products and really start to focus on them to try to get them that 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th product in their arsenal that's really starting to pick up. So if we know they're in there, it allows us to continue to scrape the other platforms and continue to work to grow and expand. It's just a strategy because it doesn't cost us anything additional, and we'll pull those products into play when the timing's right.
I've definitely heard more than a handful of people have the concern that when you do this, you're kind of putting your fate in Amazon's hands. You know, if Amazon doesn't like what you're doing, they don't like you, they don't like the product, they pull the product, any number of different things. How realistic is that concern? And another thing, expanding off that, is I've talked to multiple people that had products that were very unique that Amazon contacted the manufacturers and went after, and literally created the same product and stopped them from selling it. Is that stuff realistic? I mean, how potential is that those things can happen?
Yeah. Amazon Basics is what they call it. They come out with, their spin on a product. And of course they put themselves at the top. That really competes against a lot of Amazon Prime type listings. When we're drop shipping, 99% of the products we sell are not Prime. So if you can imagine, there's a lot of people out there that shop on Amazon that they don't spend, the annual fee to be Prime members. They just want to go on and shop and purchase their items and have it shipped to them. So that's really who we're catering. I mean, not to say somebody with Prime can't buy these products. They're going to still see them, but for sure, the people that don't have Amazon Prime memberships, the only products they see are the type of listings that we put up. So, to answer your question about kind of having your fate in Amazon's hands, it's the real thing. It's their platform. If it was kirkcooper.com, I'd have a better understanding of how a seller is going to be treated and the process they're going to go through. With Amazon, a lot of it is algorithms and AI, and a lot of things get triggered that really you're not doing anything wrong, but something's triggered it. And then now you got to go defend yourself. So with that being said, we have a lot of experience with that. We've been around the block doing this since 2013. We've seen probably especially after this last year, kind of with COVID and more people coming in and trying to sell. 1 out of every 10 people that comes on Amazon is going to have some substantial success that stretches longer than in 90 days. Because a lot of people come on and they just get burned out. They can't figure it out and they don't spend enough time to try to figure it out. So that's why coming to somebody like us, where we can leverage our years of experience. We've pivoted 100 times to really conform and work within their system. But at the end of the day, Amazon can pause your sales. They can hold your funds while they research. And that can be problematic, especially if you've got a credit card bill or you got, your everyday bills and you're relying on this as your sole income, and they're holding whatever X amount of dollars, like that can be a problem. But we've seen a little bit of everything. We have connections too, that we can get funds released and get the accounts reinstated. And that's the most important part of this business model is being able to sustain and create longevity. So that's really kind of what we bring to the table. Is we have ex-Amazon employees that worked in these departments that work alongside with us to kind of help us navigate and understand how their systems and their models work. So we have the best chance of creating success for the people we work with.
Well, I want you to know that whatever you're selling on kirkcooper.com, I would buy it. I want you to know that.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So I wish I had the guts to go out and create something like that, man.
Well, that's what I wonder though. Is that with what you do and the possibility of risk that Amazon has these controls, do you believe in diversification? Like, do you think in opening a Shopify store and selling in other places like eBay makes sense? Or do you just think it's go all in on Amazon is the best strategy from what you've found for you and your clients?
Yeah. Amazon's been there since day one, and that's how I got my start, but we sell on Walmart, Shopify, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, like all these different avenues for that exact reason. You said it, diversification. We've even expanded our services into, we create done for you YouTube channels where they're faceless content, and we're creating and using, basically we're creating channels that we're not putting my face on it. We're not putting your face on it, but we're bringing in kind of a news source, a specific niche like crypto or tech or, whatever it might be. There's so many different categories, and we create content, 10 to 15 minute videos, 15 to 20 videos a month. And we gain subscribers and views, and we help people make money passively in the YouTube model too, just because it's a diversification method. Yeah. So we have people that do our Ecom services, our YouTube services, and they pull it all together to have, digital assets. I mean, essentially, especially the YouTube, when you create content like that, it's your content that you can actually turn around and sell. It's harder to sell a dropship store because you don't actually own the brand rights and authorization and whatnot. So, but when you create content on a platform like YouTube, it's 100% your content and you can market and sell it.
Love it. Good stuff today, Kirk. Where can everybody go that's watching and listening to learn more?
Yeah, you can head over to our website, which is www.ecomautomationgurus.com. It's ECOM, just one M, ecomautomationgurus.com. You can check us out there. They can book, strategy calls, informational calls. We don't charge a dime for it. They can speak with a member of our team and they can really just break down the opportunities because there's more than what we've even discussed today. Find something that works for you, fits for you, and create an additional stream of income. That's what we're about. And we want to help people continue to do that.
I love it, Kirk. Thanks for coming on with us today.
Awesome, Ty. I appreciate it, buddy.
So listen, if you're watching or listening to this is a huge area. I mean, you've heard before of people that make a lot of money on Amazon. You probably had them in your circle. I have them in my circle. So if you're thinking about getting into this is a whole new way of doing it where you could get into Amazon without all the headaches, without any of the headaches, and basically have the whole process automated where it just creates an additional income stream. So if you think this might be something that appeals to you, then do this. Go to ecomautomationgurus.com. That's ecomautomationgurus.com. When you're here, there's a great free Amazon training. I mean, you can get it right here on their main website. And then they even have a podcast with a lot of extra tools, resources, information that can help you along the way. So make sure you go to ecomautomationgurus.com. That's ecomautomationgurus.com and break in to online sales with Amazon without doing all the work. Want to learn how? Go grab this free training. It looks pretty awesome. So again, that's at ecomautomationgurus.com. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.